malignant, vindictive, bullying narcissist. Malignant, vindictive, bullying narcissist. Malignant, vindictive, bullying narcissist.
Here we are, the concluding part of the big lie in Park County. As promised, we will bring you mules and blue bags galore. But first, we must report that Dave Whistle, District 3 Commissioner, the constitutional conservative, white ethno-cultural warrior, and feeder at Park County's public trough for 4 decades, seeks the crown of the Park County Trumplican political organization. He has offered to lead the party as chair of the Central Committee. With Commissioner Amy Mitchell stepping down from the chairmanship because she is seeking a second term as District 1 Commissioner, we had wondered in a prior Big Lie missive if Whistle's wife, Lillian, might desire the chair, or if Joyce Hines, the sex reassignment surgery warrior, or if Michelle Hart, the Patriot press lady, might be aiming for the prize. But Whistle has thrown his hat in the ring. And who among the Trumplicans can deny him? No one, I tell you, no one. Indeed, it is axiomatic that whoever controls the Republican political organization in Park County controls the Park County government. Now that the Trumplicans have wrested the party from the Lincoln Republicans, there is no person more able to lead the party to the goal of ensuring the regression of the county continues. Indeed, if you think about it, after so many decades of Republican rule, why are our roads in such desperate need of attention and our sheriff's department unable to protect the county 24/7 and our land use planning in disarray? The answer? Yes. The answer is in the question. And who can deny that Whistle's ascendancy to the chair of the party will not invigorate the righteous smugness of the Christian Dominionists who believe Donald Trump was ordained by God to be president? The Park County Trumplicans will vote on February 14th to place the crown on Whistle's head. How appropriate! Valentine's Day, hearts and kisses for all. We must review before we get on with the long-awaited foray into blue bags and 2,000 mules. Bear with us for just a few moments. In 1905, the Tammany Hall politician George Washington Plunkett said, "I seen my opportunities and I took 'em." It is axiomatic for most that Whistle took Plunkett's advice to run in the June 2022 Republican primary against the incumbent Ray Douglas. Douglas had not supported the Christian nationalist feel-good anti-abortion proclamation Amy Mitchell championed for her far-right constituency, culminating in an April 2022 Board of County Commissioners meeting where it was removed from the agenda. The Christian nationalist sect, notably the South Park Outsiders, was incensed, with some promising retribution at the polls for Commissioner Douglas. Whistle, probably still licking the deep wound of his 2018 loss to Monica Jones, most likely excitedly sat up, saw his opportunity, and took it. In fact, he took that convenient opportunity at the Republican County Assembly in March, when he threw his hat in the ring to appear on the Republican primary ballot against Douglas. Whistle had begun to collect signatures to appear on the primary ballot against Douglas. When that failed, he finagled a county assembly alternate delegate designation from his precinct so he could attend the assembly in person with or without his whistle. And certainly relying on the minority Christian Dominionist sect of the Park County Republican Party, he received enough votes to appear on the June ballot. No doubt, though, the South Park outsiders, Wissell's rabid constituency, had sought retribution against Douglas ever since they attempted to recall him, and Dick Elsner, in 2021 for his support of public health measures to combat the COVID pandemic. Indeed, the South Park outsiders were ballyhooing a Wissell candidacy as far back as August 2021. In mid-August 2021, the outsiders' spokesman went to social media to say, "We officially have a constitutional conservative potential candidate. His name is Dave Wissell. Woo-hoo! We need a good candidate to remove Ray Douglas. We are so thrilled someone like Dave has stepped up to take on these tyrants and remove the rhinos with us. We want as many people as delegates as possible and then as many people to vote for Dave instead of Ray at the county assembly. We need 50 constitutional conservative delegates to step up at caucus and then come to county assembly to rock the House and easily secure Dave's name on the primary ballot." End quote. Wissell had seen the writing on the wall 11 months before the county assembly. The South Park outsiders would have his back. He was one of them. And, as the spokesman noted, they all would have a hand in removing the rhinos from the Park County Republican Party, thus reconstituting the party of Lincoln to that of Trump, a place where the big lie would flourish, where Christian nationalism would prevail, where anyone who wasn't them would become vermin, tainted blood, and where white Christian ethno-culture would bloom and prosper. So, Dave Wissell became the poster boy candidate of the South Park outsiders and their comrades. A humble boy from Eads who loved rock and roll and would rack up more than a 40-year record of feeding at the Park County Public Trough, a not unimpressive record to be sure. The Park County Democrats, on the other hand, had one candidate for District 3 Commissioner. Ashley Girodo filed to be on the primary ballot as a Democratic candidate on February 22, 2022. Girodo was a 34-year-old third-generation Coloradan living in Alma. She'd grown up in Grand Junction, where she attended a Southern Baptist school. She then went on to receive a master's degree in educational leadership. She'd worked in non-profits and public education in the 15 years preceding her intent to run for county commissioner. Girodo would appear on the general election ballot as a Democrat, having earned the spot through the county assembly process. Wissell would appear on the November ballot after winning the June Republican primary against Ray Douglas. The campaign was on, pitting the two candidates and disparate ideologies against each other. The bright, young, enthusiastic, and open to new ideas woman against the good old boy, the sexagenarian from Kiowa County, born to play drums in a rock and roll band, but blessed by the serendipity of being in the right place at the right time over 40 years before. Let's revisit for a moment Dave Wissell's words from one of his appearances on the Chuck and Julie Show in September and October 2022. He'd applied those words to describe his perception of the Park County Republican Party's Central Committee after he and Lillian had lost control of it way back in 2009.
Malignant, vindictive, bullying narcissists. Malignant, vindictive, bullying narcissists. Malignant, vindictive, bullying narcissists.
I will admit the music makes us want to just get down and boogaloo for a bit, doesn't it? And no matter how reflective of Donald Trump's persona those words are, they are precisely the words used by many to describe their perception of Dave Wissell during the 2022 campaign for District 3 Commissioner. Indeed, those perceptions had been formed years, even decades before. Many had lived in the county for a very long time. Some had worked with Whistle, and some had endured the sophomoric vulgarities he'd flung at the Park County Republican Central Committee. They knew who he was, and they didn't like him. In fact, rather than maintain the dogmatic demands of Republican Party bylaws and loyalty precepts, many relied on their right of conscience to say no way, no how to Whistle's candidacy, regardless of political party allegiance. Yes, Lincoln Republicans could not in good conscience support Whistle, and they didn't. In fact, many openly campaigned against him. With the mania engendered in the Whistle camp by Lincoln Republicans opposing his election, coupled with their thorough indoctrination into the hair on fire, Big Lie believing Trumplican jingoistically tinged propaganda about the baby-killing vermin on the opposing side of the aisle, Whistle's team prepared for what they knew was coming. 2,000 mules had converged on fair play, intending to steal the election from their poster boy candidate, Dave Whistle. And the South Park outsiders and their comrades would be ready. Indeed, they had been absorbing Big Lie nonsense since the potentate of Mar-a-Lago had told them to. They had consumed with gusto the convoluted lies of the likes of the Pillow Guy, Tucker Carlson, Mike Flynn, and a cast of thousands who had also taken their cue from their golden idol, the bone-spurred, wigged, tanned from a bottle, divinely ordained second-coming savior and champion of dominionistic intent for the good old USA, Donald Trump. In late October 2022, the South Park outsiders and their comrades issued an action call invoking Christ's name, who, without a doubt, was on their side against the evildoers who would attempt to steal the election from their boy Whistle. They'd created a communication network consisting of signal flags and flares, cell phones, radar, and sonar in case all those mules came by water instead of land. They had bells and whistles, X-ray machines, and satellite imagery. Do I jest? Perhaps just a little. Indeed, these warriors for Christ and Whistle were well prepared to exploit any hint of ungodly interference in the election, raising any conspiratorial tempest to epic proportions, regardless of whether that tempest was more suited to a teapot. On election night, social media blew up, phones were buzzing, cameras were popping, and the South Park outsiders, contingent of who they perceived we the people are, were agog at the extent of corruption and evil doings by the evildoers doing evil. Just one example of the social media lunacy on election night captured what would become the South Park outsiders and their comrades' absolutely irrefutable evidence the evildoers were stealing votes. And wouldn't you know it? Who was at the center of the evil doing? None other than Monica Jones, the elected assessor who, in 2018, had ended Dave Whistle's 38-year hold on that office and who had formed the Republicans for Girardeau opposition to his candidacy for commissioner. The South Park outsiders, no doubt with Christ's assistance, had caught the culprit for sure.
What I'll say first is we will not go silently into the night. This entire night tomorrow and however long this election takes to get us the results. Here's another question. Where did all those ballots come from, Monica? It's also been reported to the state. So I hope you guys pick this up.
that right? Was it a bag of ballots that came from the assessor's office? Is that correct, Monica?
Oh, is this a libel suit that
You
you
can
guys
keep
are
going for
looking for?
another 30 seconds.
No, we're asking.
Question.
I will tell you point blank,
If you want
no. There was nothing. It has been shown that it was a
I
purse.
don't understand what
It had nothing to do with me. I didn't go in or out my door.
I thought that was my
And there
ticket.
is film
No,
that
you got me another
shows this,
30
and
seconds
it's a lie.
because you're
I
interrupted.
don't know if
You should be ashamed of yourself if you supported a Democrat, because you in turn support the entire Democrat platform, and it is a disgrace to this country. One nation under God. And all of you, I'm not judging you, but God will someday.
and you're supporting a baby killer too, obviously, if she's a Democrat.
Yes, the South Park Outsiders head accountable revealed to Park County Republicans what her little army of righteous watchers had discovered. Monica Jones had done what they had expected the evildoer to do. The ungodly attempted to steal the election, and it was Monica Jones who'd done the dastardly deed. Commissioner Amy Mitchell took notes at that meeting, scribbling the particulars in her notebook. And who could doubt that anyone, anywhere, who supported a Democrat was ipso facto a baby killer?
They thought they saw something that they did not see, and I let them know that they did not see what they thought they see.
Good morning, Commissioners. Monica Jones. I'm speaking both on behalf of myself and my office at this point in time. I wanted to address an accusation that was lodged at myself and my office regarding the November election. I had hoped that since Commissioner Mitchell had taken it upon herself to conduct an investigation, that she would have brought forth the conclusion. But since that hasn't been what has happened, and she's been in possession of the truth for several weeks, and her group has not come forward with any social media, I am using public comment to answer the charges. On Tuesday, November 8th, I was told an election watcher claimed that on Monday, November 7th, someone from my office carried a blue bag of uncounted ballots from my office to the clerk's office. The watcher did not do what they were supposed to do and contact the election official immediately or file a question, but provided the information to a third party outside the election. This morphed into a public attack of me at a meeting, as well as an attack on social media that I personally had been in possession of a blue bag of uncounted ballots and carried them from my office to the clerk's office. This even included a request to the sheriff to have me arrested. I requested and received the submitted Cora request made by Commissioner Mitchell and the same films that she requested and reviewed. The films show election judges carrying three large blue bags of what I think and assume were uncounted ballots up the back stairs of the Park County office building on November 7th, through the break room that joins the clerk's office and the assessor's office, and into their office. This is what has been done for a number of years. And later that day, election judges bringing a blue bag into the clerk's office through the front door of that office. Also what had been done for a number of years. It also shows that when the bag was being brought into the clerk's office, the watcher was not looking in the direction of where the bag was coming, but in the opposite direction. She then took notes, made a phone call, and presumably to someone coordinating the watchers. I reviewed the film of the front door of my office, and the only blue bag that came out of my office that morning was a purse on a woman's shoulder. The Cora request that Commissioner Mitchell made was targeted at my office and not finding the truth. She and her group added 2 and 2 together and came up with a crazy conspiracy theory not directed or to discredit me and the election in general. The truth is that the accusation was completely false, and that this could have been resolved quickly and efficiently if correct procedures would have been followed, instead of weeks of speculation and spreading of mistruth. These accusations have cost the county time and resources to investigate and provide the information. The most concerning to me is when this morphed on social media, and knowing the climate of hate that was projected in these posts, it puts my staff at jeopardy when they go out to do their job. And this is unacceptable to me. I hope in the future that you, Commissioner Mitchell, and your group of accusers will look for the truth and make sure that you have proof of wrongdoing before you go off half-cocked and accuse people of illegal activity that they were no part of.
There was no wrongdoing. I told them that in all clear terms, and that they were mistaken. Thought they saw something that they did not see. And I let them know that they did not see what they thought they see. I was not aware that there was any social media issues going on. And I thought I believed that I had set the record straight with the people who asked the question. And I'm done with it. And you take the time to slam me in a public forum like this. It's not appreciated. You could have asked me anytime. You've got all my phone numbers.
And Commissioner Mitchell, you could have come to me that day and you could have asked me at any time also. You ignored the situation. You went to a meeting. You heard people attack me personally at a meeting on that Wednesday, and you did nothing to try and say, wait, let's get proof, and then go forward. My political stance in this election is of no concern to my office, and this is my concern at this point in time. What happened on social media puts my staff in jeopardy, and I will not ever have that happen.
You are hammering me because you think I did wrong, and I did not. So I will accept your words to me, and I say let's just shut this down because we will all believe what we believe. They did not see what they thought they see. They did not see what they thought they see. They did not see.
Well, what a letdown. Where were those 2,000 mules we were all waiting for? And the blue bags were, yes, ballot-carrying bags being carried by those authorized to carry them. I'd previously mentioned a tempest in a teapot. I suppose this particular big lie in Park County was precisely that, a tempest in a teapot, a conspiracy fashioned by those whose bedtime reading, media watching, and skewed perception of reality is one tempest in a teapot after another. May we forgive them, for they know not what they do? No, I don't think we will. They march to a drummer whose rat-a-tat-tat they blindly follow without any intellectual honesty or curiosity at all. They are Trumplicans, devoted to a con that promises their Christian Dominionist yearnings are valued, and have yet to figure out they are being exploited by the oldest con of all, the demagoguery of a golden idol whose only interests are his own. And once again, congratulations to Dave Whistle on this Valentine's Day, when his ascension to the chair of the Park County Trump Republican Central Committee is assured. Hugs and kisses to all.